There are stories that remain in human history forever. Stories so massive that they feel almost unreal. One of them is the story of a ship that was called Unsinkable. This was the RMS Titanic, the most famous ocean liner in history. At the beginning of the 20th century, the world was rapidly evolving. Technology was advancing, and people started to believe they could control everything. During this time, the company White Star Line decided to build the largest, most luxurious, and safest ship ever created. The construction of Titanic began at the shipyard Harland and Wolff in Belfast. The ship was enormous, over 260 meters long and capable of carrying thousands of passengers. Inside, there were restaurants, a swimming pool, a gym, and cabins that rivaled luxury hotels. People truly believed this ship was the peak of human engineering, and it quickly gained the reputation of being unsinkable. On April 10, 1912, Titanic set off on its maiden voyage, departing from Southampton and heading toward New York. On board were more than 2,200 people, including passengers and crew. Among them were wealthy businessmen, families, and individuals searching for a new life in America.
The first days of the journey were calm. The weather was clear, and the ocean was quiet. However, warnings had already been received. Other ships reported ice in the North Atlantic. Despite this, Titanic maintained a high speed. The night of April 14 to April 15 became the turning point. At around 11:40 p.m., lookouts spotted an iceberg directly ahead. It appeared suddenly, leaving very little time to react. The crew attempted to turn the ship, but it was too late. Titanic struck the iceberg along its starboard side. The impact did not seem catastrophic at first. There was no massive explosion or immediate destruction, but below the surface, the damage was critical. Several watertight compartments were breached, allowing water to begin flooding the ship. Titanic had been designed to stay afloat even if some compartments were damaged, but the number of affected sections exceeded its limits. Water began to fill compartment after compartment. The ship's engineer quickly realized that Titanic would not survive. At first, passengers did not understand the seriousness of the situation. Everything appeared calm. Many believed the ship was too advanced to sink. The crew began preparing lifeboats, but there were not enough for everyone on board. They were designed to carry only about half of the people. Evacuation began with women and children first, followed by others. However, time was running out. Many passengers hesitated to leave the ship, believing it was still safe. Some lifeboats were launched only partially filled. Gradually, the bow of the ship began to sink lower into the ocean. The situation became more obvious. The ship tilted more and more. Eventually, in the early hours of April 15, Titanic broke apart and sank beneath the water. More than 1,500 people lost their lives in the freezing waters of the Atlantic Ocean. The temperature of the water was so low that survival was only possible for a few minutes. Rescue did not arrive immediately. The distress signal was received by the RMS Carpathia, which was several hours away. When it finally arrived, it was too late to save most of those in the water, but around 700 survivors were rescued. After the tragedy, investigations revealed that the disaster was not caused by a single factor, but by a chain of mistakes. High speed in an area known for icebergs, insufficient lifeboats, ignored warnings, and overconfidence in technology all played a role. There are also additional theories. Some suggest that the metal used in the hull was not strong enough, making it more vulnerable to damage. Others believe design flaws contributed to the scale of the disaster. There are even conspiracy theories, but most experts agree that it was a tragic combination of human error and natural conditions. For decades, the exact location of the wreck remained unknown. It wasn't until 1985 that an expedition led by Robert Ballard discovered the remains of the RMS Titanic nearly 4 kilometers below the ocean surface. The ship was found in 2 separate sections, confirming how it broke apart before sinking. Today, the story of Titanic remains one of the most powerful and well-known in the world. It is not just a tragedy, but a symbol of human ambition and overconfidence, a reminder that even the most advanced technology cannot fully overcome nature. So what really happened? Titanic was not truly unsinkable. It was a product of its time, a time when humanity began to believe it could surpass all limits. But one night proved otherwise. Sometimes a single moment is enough to change history forever. And the story of the RMS Titanic is one of the strongest examples of that. More than 100 years have passed, yet this story continues to make people think about technology, decisions, and the cost of mistakes. Because some stories never truly fade away.